Now has that made a difference? Let me see, I've got both mics on. I don't know why I need two mics turned on at the same time to get it working, but hopefully that is the difference maker. Let's just... It sounds like I can be heard now. Hooray! Welcome to 10 minutes of Inazuma 11 every day while I... Let me get this on Twitter actually. While we wait for the Strikers World Cup, we'll play some every day. Only want the one screen, don't show off my second monitor. It's really insisting, what the hell? Okay, let me say hello to everybody that's here then, because we've got a match coming up in 8 minutes. I've also got to promote this to the actual server. Let them know to promote me. Cool. I think that was all the setup I needed to do. Here is Steve and Nathan. So Mark has already made it to the first round of the Football Frontier. I nearly said international, but not international, just the regular Frontier. Logan asks, is the CIA for everyday available? I've had this game on for 2 minutes and I've already got people trying to steal it. If you want it, I can tell you where to find it, sure. But we've already had a question. I'll obviously go over the proper countries involved in this match in a bit. Bloody hell, Aphrodite's here already! I guess a lot of real world time has passed since I made my everyday video. It's a showdown between Italy and Maghreb. So Italy is Italy, obviously. Maghreb refers to the French-speaking part of northern Africa, the largely Arab parts. So that includes Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria. And sometimes, by some people's definition, includes Egypt, but this team is specifically 3 players from Tunisia, all of whom are playing today, and they do have on the bench 1 player from Morocco and 1 player from Algeria, but neither of those 2 are playing tonight. So essentially, this is going to be Italy versus Tunisia. We just have to call it Maghreb anyway, because the Morocco player and the Algerian player presumably did get involved a little earlier in the tournament, and they still could if they get through to the semi-finals. So it is the Maghreb team, but today is definitely a proper showdown between Italy and Tunisia, and it will be a best of 5. So we're going to have even more than before to watch, which is kind of crazy because we're probably going to go at least 2 hours. Yes, we don't necessarily have to play it out to the end if a win has already been somewhat confirmed. All of my capture card wires are completely mixed up here. I'm tripping myself over. Let me untangle myself a bit. There you go, that's a bit better. This is the Axel Blaze story of every day, but I do have a Mark Evans save file as well, which I can switch over to when we run out of things to do. Essentially, whenever I'm between matches in the Strikers World Cup, I was always playing a bit of Go Galaxy, advancing the plot, but because the current part I'm at in Galaxy is just... let's also turn that down a bit. Because my current part is just the match against Muay Tigers, I have no way to finish that match in time in between tournament sets, so we're just going to play some every day until we have matches. But there's 5 matches, but it's between 3 players, so everyone except for 1 player will play twice. So that's should minimise the amount of time downtime between matches. But yeah, it's going to be 3 Tunisian players against 3 Italian players, and most of them will play twice. Yeah, imagine a best of 5 on Chrono Stones matches. I mean, Strikers, to be fair, takes just as long, really. It's just a bit more close run and competitive in the process. And no, Dennis, I did not beat my Tigers off stream. I should have, but I still keep feeling guilty about playing what's essentially Alex Greensmith's playthrough of the game without him. I'd love to see him. Have I rolled the credits? Did I beat the game? Thank you one and all for watching me beat Inazuma 11 every day. All I did was start the game like a month and a half ago to record my individual video on it. I don't know why it's clipping on top. That's not happening on the bottom screen. I think that's genuinely just part of the game. Oh no, that's not happening on my... No, that is happening on my 3DS screen as well. That's genuinely meant to be there, or the game is glitching and not my recording software necessarily. But yeah, I played this game for the first time a month and a half ago for the one video on my channel, and then you are meant to play it every day, but I obviously haven't done. This is the 2nd day in which I've played it, so it's just reopened in the credit. The game ran out of days to play, and the whole plot of the game happened without me even doing it. What the? I could never see those events ever again now without just restarting and actually playing every day. There's the Murdoch brothers. We never spoke to them, did we? Still got another 2 minutes before the actual World Cup match starts. But just enjoy the credits for now. I've got Bjorn messaging me as well. Oh, bloody hell, he's uploading a new video. That's interesting. So you know how I did a video of all the goal celebrations in Chrono Stones and Go 1 in the English language? And then I made a Japanese one that included Go Galaxy as well. I gave the files to Bjorn from Ryusei Boys, or Ivar from Ryusei Boys, so that he could make an Italian version. So that will be the 3rd in the series of all goal celebration voice lines from a dub of Inazuma 11. Just it's going to be on his channel because it's in Italian. Why would you watch an Italian channel on... Hey, Uppy's here in the chat! Ivar, I'm plugging your new video. We've sort of worked together on this. If anyone wants to watch a montage of all Italian goal celebration voice lines on Bjorn's channel, it will be uploaded shortly after this stream, if not during it. Even the thumbnail will look kind of like mine, because it's essentially the 3rd in the series, just it belongs on an Italian channel, not mine, and there is a Spanish guy and potentially a German guy as well working on the same video for their respective languages. But yeah, so I've essentially got a new video coming out today, just I didn't make it and it's not on my channel. I just helped Bjorn make it, so subscribe to him. It is now 7 o'clock. Yeah, Bjorn's releasing the video in 1 hour. We've seen the credits now for Inazuma 11 every day, having beaten it. So I'm going to close that for now. We're going to move my Discord across, and I'm going to hop in here to watch the Strikers gameplay. So here we are. People are in the room already. I currently can't hear any audio, but I think there genuinely just is no audio on this menu rather than it being my fault. I'll mute myself on the call. Is there anyone else I need to mute? The one guy, Kenway, is the streamer who's actually giving us the footage. He's talking at the moment, but he will be talking in French. So there's no point unmuting it because I wouldn't be able to understand it anyway. I hope we see some Gabby today. He's so throwable downstairs. I know who you are. All of a sudden, there's only one person who would call Gabby infinitely throwable downstairs. And I don't remember your exact name from Twitter, but Scotland representation, right? If I've remembered that correctly. I guess the Gabby plush is intensely throwable. But I'm going to turn Inazuma 11 every day off now on my own 3DS. That was still kind of sitting around. I saw the word C. That means the footage we are watching is from the Italian footage provider. They will be taking on Maghreb. Logan's got about 30 minutes to watch, and then he's getting dragged to watch Barbie. You use the word dragged very generously. You want to go. Don't even deny it. I want to go see it too. Alright, here we go. It is match time. On the left, we've got the Romanian flag for some reason. Or is it the Chad flag? It could be either, technically, but either way, this is the match. Let's get this actually full screen. Well, they've gone for a fresh restart anyway, so fair enough. Hide the members. That has no purpose. We've got 23 people watching at the moment. But as the match goes on, we'll hopefully get some people before we lose Logan and the like to Oppenheimer and all of that. But yes, let's check who else we've got in chat. We've got Trouble, King Boo Studios, Ray, Gabriel Bianchi. Interesting. Here we are on the new stadium, Team Ogre's Stadium. This time they have swapped places. From those logos, I can't currently tell who's who, and there is no audio yet. Let me get that as high as I can. Or make sure in my Discord settings that it is actually playing out of my earphones. Output is the Yeti. That's not correct. There we
Selow,
go.
qui est en train de jouer en partage de connexion dans sa voiture.
French comms. Oh, I know Rosetta. But unfortunately, they must be silenced. Let's lower the stream volume down to 83, and that'll do. We can now watch the game. They've nearly kicked it out of play. How was that still in? What the heck? Anyway, Soul Daystar is here, of course. Have you missed me? The stream footage is looking a little choppy at the moment. That's not just you guys, that's there for me too, but there's not really much I can do about it. We've got Fire Dragon kit for one of these two, while the others, I think, are in a custom kit. It would have been easier for me if the Italian team were just wearing the Orpheus kit, and then I would know who's who, but not to worry. We'll work out when a goal is scored who is who. The current match that's happening is Selow, the Tunisian player representing Maghreb, and their opponent is Aaronash from Italy. So we're looking out for clues that would possibly give away who is Aaronash from Italy and who is Selow from Maghreb. Well, we've got a goal. There's Sled for Filo BF. Filo is the name of one of the Italian players. So Filo is not playing the match, but I guess they're trying to say, I don't know, Filo, my boyfriend? Question mark? So that would imply the person who just scored is from Italy. It could just be a cheeky reference. They might be taking the piss out of Filo from the opposing team, but I'm, until told otherwise, going to assume that Italy are in the lead. We've got a long time to work this out anyway, because we have got Matt Ches to come. Oh my word, this ain't no normal best of three. We're on Filo Loves OT was the name of the air bullet move. You know, maybe they are taking the piss out of Filo from... We know that Filo is an Italian player, but he's also not playing. Arlex says, I think the black kit is the Italian player. I'm thinking so too, but we don't have 100% confirmation because neither of the in-game tags are actually the names of the players, which, you know, just makes things ever so slightly more difficult. But Maghreb, nevertheless, I want to talk about that team for a bit. Let me get their... Oh, never mind, I can't. I was about to look up their previous matches on how they made it to the knockout stages, but that would mean closing the stream. I guess I can get Discord open on browser as well, actually. Nearly called it discovery.com. Discord.com/app on another stream. There we go, with Pegasus Bolt coming out. We'll call this the match where I'm just purely info diving. And we got a goal, especially from XXX Noga to even up the scores. The tag Noga gives me absolutely no indication as to whether they are Selow or Aaronash. I haven't even ruled out the possibility, to be fair, that one of these three that are scheduled to play just didn't turn up and then they've brought someone off the bench. You never know. It's not going to let me log into Discord on browser without using two-step authentication. That's annoying. Let's just, until told otherwise, assume that the kit in black is Italy and the kit in red is Maghreb, which would be kind of fitting for Tunisia. They've got a very red flag, even if the kit is obviously that of South Korea in reality. Just gotta not worry about it, I guess. We've got a custom skin here on Sled. Oh yeah, they were representing Sled in the player name, weren't they? So that's just purely talking about the player they like using and not the name of the actual tag. Very inconsiderate, isn't it? The players in this tournament to not make it possible for me to know who's who. But whatever. We've got JP in goal for the first time in any of these streams that I've done so far. We've got a Saw on both teams, which is expected. He is like the best defender. We've seen at least one Sold A-star. I am assuming there's a second one, because how would there not be? That defender from Eternal Light, who was using Ozone Flare, Air Bullet, is also considered to be one of the best defenders in the game, so he makes sense to be seeing here. There's one of the Sold A-stars. Can we see another one? Or maybe they're saving him for the second half? Chat definitely talking about JP, that's one thing. He's apparently a solid, like, high tier in Strikers. He's not necessarily the best goalkeeper, but it's more just you're picking the element of your goalkeeper to suit whoever the opponent's main striker is going to be. And at the end of the day, they can all just get outpaced and no-mashed around to just run around the keeper and tap it into the back of the net without JP or Cinquedea or any other goalkeeper even getting to do out in the first place. So ultimately, I think the goalkeeper choice is the least important selection on the team anyway, because they're the least likely to do anything. They either will get to use a catching move and they'll probably stop it, or they'll get mashed past in fashion like this. There was an attempt, but Darren LeChance held firm. Any other goalkeeper presumably would have done the same thing. The goalkeeper stats only come into effect when they're doing a move, and there is finally your proof. Yes, there is a Sold A-star on each team, and that is always going to be the case. I have not seen a single match in the Strikers World Cup where both teams did not have a Sold A-star on it. And ultimately, if you didn't have a Sold A-star on your team, you are trying to lose on purpose. It is pretty much essential to have one on your team if you want to compete at the top level. He is better than every other midfielder in the game, and if you don't use one, then you're just making things harder on yourself. And kind of the same with having Saw in defense, really. He does seem to be pretty much the top pick. Question from Ted Brower is, are you going to make a video about potential dub names for the Orion moves? I could, potentially. That'd take a long time to think of, but it is like the only Inazuma 11 season left where we don't know the dub names for the moves now. Like Galaxy, we have a few where we don't know the official names if they were game exclusive, but we still came up with dub names for them in the English translation patch when not available. So Orion, I could potentially have a little think and just try to come up with a name for each of them. That sounds like a great idea for a video, to be honest. What I need to do first, though, is the tier list of the Orion moves themselves, because that's, again, the only season where I haven't made a tier list for it. I even did the Ares one. So first I need to get my friend the Damn Beaver to make the tier maker for me. Then I can rank them in a tier list, and then maybe as a follow-up video I can try and come up with some dub names for them. But Firewall, I'm just going to keep as Firewall. That doesn't deserve a cleverer name than that. Oh, Firewall. But let's get things back into the reality of a second, because we are currently 1-1 between Maghreb, Tunisia, and now we're not. It is 2-1. The team who took the lead in the first place are back in the lead. Presumably it's Italy. And now they've reclaimed the lead. Yeah, exactly. Deceitful Wings was definitely my name choice for Shiny Feather. A lot of the names that we did come up with for the Galaxy moves were a mixed bag. I definitely didn't come up with them all myself. A few of them were made up by Zikria AK. Quite a few of them were made up by HMaz. You know, that famous YouTube Shorts guy. Yeah, he was on the team as well for helping to translate the game. Unfortunately, most of the names he came up with ended up getting overwritten once we found the official names from the Galaxy Portuguese dub. Like, so Jackknife, right? The move that Rongula uses. Hillary Flail. So one of the main moves from Go Galaxy. We knew that the dub would never keep the name Jackknife because it's too violent. They would have, if they can't have Death Drop, then they're not going to have Jackknife. So we had to change it. And the move name that HMaz came up with was Splash and Slash. Like, with an apostrophe N in the middle. Oh yeah, I need to not show the formation. Oops. Don't mind me.
Wesh les refs, c'est comment là?
Yep, you can't see the screen anymore. Oops, should have thought about that one. But yeah, Splash and Slash was like a very dub name.
Ah mince.
And I really liked that one. We obviously had to change it once we found out the genuine dub name that they went with, which was Whipper Slapper, which is also really funny, but yeah, he really knocked it out of the park with coming up with some dub-style names, and there were obviously occasions where one person would come up with a name and then someone would come up with a different one, and then we'd all collectively vote on it. I cannot mute the extra French speaker yet, because that would involve opening Discord back up and allow you to look at the formation tab. Looks like one player has locked in their formation, but not everyone yet. So I'm just listening out for the mute. Okay, we are back on. Who have I got to mute to reduce the amount of French in our ears? TaleOfTheToaster. Well, we like the username, but no speaker Francois. So here we go into the second half. Italy in the lead, we think. What we can definitely say is that the player called Filo BF is in the lead, as a reference to their teammate stroke opponent, but probably teammate, and the streams quickly crashed. Not back in time just for Saw to make an impact. Yeah, midfielder Goldie is one of the ones we got substituted in, and she's really good at being a midfielder in this game because you can still use your defensive moves. It's like you can use them anywhere, and then she's also got Dance on Air for midfielding, and that's a goal from Bay Laurel to equalise. And yes, I know that the stream lagged during the shot, which is unfortunate, but wow, it is 2-2 then. And I never expected Bay Laurel to be one of the goal scorers, but he's doing it for Liverpool, for Kirkwood Junior High. With always that custom modification on Pegasus. He's turned his helmet all dark. It's not just Jade Green with a canonical Liverpool accent in the English version of Inazuma 11. We've got the whole Kirkwood team, including Bay Laurel as well. And I do love that fact. You can tell somebody doesn't speak French when they say no speaker Francois instead of pas parler François. Well, we'll try and remember that then. Pas parler François. I cannot speak French. Whoa, look at the custom mod on on Pegasus Armed here. It's turned blue with the Tezcat Miximax as well. And look at the custom mod on Bylong. Hold up. Which has now completely disappeared when Miximaxed with Chunga Liang, of course. But he looked sick for all of about 5 seconds before he turned into the obviously Scatto Anomalo is the Italian name for Warp Step. But can he score? Yes, he can. And Bylong puts Italy back in the lead at 3-2. Wow, this is a really active first game between, again, if we're not mistaken, Selow and Aaronash. Aaronash is the Italian player and Selow is the Tunisian player on behalf of Maghreb. Again, I mentioned it before the match started, but I'll mention it again. Every team has 5 players total, and 3 of them will play in a set at any given time. So the Maghreb team, wow, this is in-game lag. That is not Discord lag, that's the actual connection between the 2 players slowing down there. Yeah, there's 3 players from Tunisia representing Maghreb, and all 3 of them are playing tonight. The team also has 1 player from Algeria and 1 player from Morocco as part of the squad, but they are not playing tonight. So it is just a Tunisian team representing Maghreb. But Maghreb does refer to that whole bit of Northern Africa. And that is a goal again, and now things are starting to get out of hand if you're a Maghreb fan. 4-2 all of a sudden from the team wearing the black kit. Oh, custom Gabby as well is going to be erased there. No, it's not. We've got a custom on top of a custom. The whole theme of this Italian team, they've got the dark black kit, and then all of the players have been given black hair highlights in some form. Looks really nice, even if it does make it hard for me to identify which team there are. But I'm operating under the belief it's Italian until told otherwise. We've even had a correction pronunciation from our Italian friend Bjorn in the chat. Scatto Anomalo. When reading on the spot, we have to rush it a bit. But Arian is going to try and bring things back, using his dribbling move to get past David Sanford and then try to no-mash past the goalkeeper. So, Spada Real, Sword of the King. He's going to get past David Sanford, but JP's in the way. Whoa, still slotting through anyway. That looked hopeless. But bringing it back to 3-4. There were so many players in the way, but with the goalkeeper down and out, that's all that really mattered. This could still be a draw yet. Ultimately, I have no preference, right, between who wins out of Italy and Tunisia. Either way, it's going to be quite a surprise semi-finalist. But what I'm worried about is if we have 2 wins apiece and a draw in the middle, then this best of 5 would still end in a draw. And at that point, we would need a 6th match to decide it. And we're still in the first one. I'm willing to take on these 5 matches. 6 would be a bit overkill, to say the least. Yes, Spada Reale just translates to royal sword from Italian. To be honest, that would make a much more sensible name than Sword of the King. Just royal sword means the same thing, but shorter. It's weirdest in Japanese, of course, where they're calling it Tsurugi no something. It's like, Aaron, your teammate's called Tsurugi. That's just the thing with his Japanese name literally be... If you think Victor Blade is on the nose, he's basically called Victor Sword in Japanese. And that's how you get Tsurugi no Sword of the King. Creating that. There is a pretty bad connection between these two players, it has to be said. We haven't hit a disconnection yet. But now we have... okay, there was only 15 minutes left in the match. And that's tricky. Because last time there was a disconnection, it happened really early on in a previous set that I streamed. So what they did was just fresh restart the match with somebody being a goal down to reflect what had already happened. But this is like way too far in now to restart, I would have said, especially when we've got so many matches to come. Do they just have to call that at 4-3, or do they start another match, play for 15 minutes, and then quit? I don't have the official ruling. I'm going to get Discord open and wait for some messages. If I can open that on my iPad, I will try and get the official ruling on what happens for the remaining 15 minutes of that match. But there's no way they start it again from scratch. Not when it was such a good match. 4-3 with only 15 minutes left. So I'll kind of find out at the same time as everybody else. For now, as it stands, that's kind of the Italians' win. The thing is, you can't really just give them the win outright, because you have to establish whose fault the disconnection was first. Like, you can imagine if the Italian team were in the lead by 1 goal in the final 15 minutes, you couldn't, in theory, stop them from just disconnecting the match and then being given the win. Like, you could, in theory, disconnect on purpose to avoid having to play that last 15 minutes. So they don't just auto-win, is my assumption. I think we'll need to get that remaining 15 minutes covered somehow, but surely not a fresh restart, because that would be way too much extra time. But now there's nothing really being said in the text chats. I'm sure that they're talking about it in the voice chat. I can't speak French, so let's briefly unmute the French people just in case they happen to be talking in English.
Ouais. Est-ce qu'on a des nouvelles de Selow, justement?
On a des nouvelles
Il est
ou...
en train d'écrire. Il est en train d'écrire.
Ah, ok, nice.
Il est là, mais c'est juste.
That's a no. They
Résoudre
are
le
all
problème.
still communicating in French, which you know, that's the language of the whole Maghreb region. So I'll and the Strikers World Cup is quite a French setup thing. Like, obviously we've got a team representing Tunisia here right now. They don't necessarily live in Tunisia. They might live in France but have Tunisian descent. Like, that's entirely allowed in terms of representation in the World Cup. Every time I've heard someone talk in those Discord calls, it has always been in French, which just makes things a fair bit harder for me, because I'm not learning to speak French, to be honest. I can't be bothered. If I wanted to learn another language, I would probably learn to speak Spanish, to be honest, because Spanish language is cool as hell. It's meant to be one of the easiest languages to learn, and I do have a few Spanish friends, and it means I could go on holiday to Costa Rica and and be able to speak the language without having to get them to speak English to me. So that'd be awesome. I still have no updates on what's happening here with Game 1. Okay, there is a new message. One of the tournament organisers, Abluda, is saying, "We're taking a decision. 0 is actually," and then didn't finish his sentence. And then Haku says Aaron might have scored if he doesn't mess up. They were basically saying the disconnect happened while somebody was heading towards the goal, which could have been the equaliser. So I think all the goals that happened will still stand, but they're maybe going to try and get the losing team back in position where possible. The main thing is to say it's being talked about. Yo, Logan, you know about Obluda? I'd never spoken to him before getting this World Cup stream set up, but he's been a solid dude and always willing to share my stream link on the socials, which is nice. Tale will do anything for a holiday, says BB. Yeah, you're right. I mean, BB stands for BattleBots, and I'd gladly go to America for that. But no, I'm not going to learn Spanish. It's just if I was going to learn a language, it would be that. I considered Dutch as well at one point, just because I have so many Dutch subscribers, and that's a country that I've visited a lot of times, but ultimately they speak such good English anyway that there's no point. I could live there without ever learning the language and I'd probably have no issues. Hi up, we've got Obluda in the chat all of a sudden. So we've established that the Romanian flag represents the Italian team, and I think that does mean they were the ones in the black coloured kit. Hope you're enjoying the tune in the background. I didn't choose it. You should try to learn English. Thanks, King Boo. Had a solid 27 years of experience in that one, but I guess they're not enough. Of course, Tale of the Spanish would actually be Cuento del Tostadora. And I did not Google that. I Googled it 2 years ago and I've remembered it because I set that as my Twitter handle when I was in Spain last time. So here we go with commentary from Cuento del Tostadora. We've got Italy on the left and Maghreb on the right. They are going to have to recreate those 7 goals and then play out the next 15 minutes. When it actually starts. I really hope they don't play past the point of 15 minutes. That would very needlessly drag this well over time. But the main thing that's encouraging off of this is no one's been disqualified. No one's been handed the win by default. We will get the rest of the proceedings played out. They will need to try and score some own goals on purpose. That's them giving up the ball on purpose. They've changed kits now as well. It seems like they can't quite figure out what to do. Are they just running down the time to the final 15 minutes? Oh, I see. So they're not going to bother with rescoring the goals. It'll say 0-0 along the top. But we have some time until we get to 15 minutes into the second half. And then I guess we'll start going again. So, do we have any Spanish speakers in chat? Can you help get my Gabby Garcia voice working better? I was just speaking to a Spanish Inatuber only today. I was saying at the start of this stream, I made a video a few weeks ago with a montage of all the English dub goal celebration lines in Chrono Stones and Go 1. And then I made a Japanese version with translations and all of the lines from Galaxy as well. Following on from that, my friend Ryusei Boys, who's right here in the chat, has made an Italian version with a bit of my help, and he's releasing that to his channel literally today. And I also reached out to a Spanish Inatuber called Geordie Blaze, who watched my video just as a viewer. And I could tell he was an Inatuber, so I said, I mean, somebody's got to make the Spanish one. I've got the files if you want to make it. So the Spanish version is in production. And Milozaki might be making the German version as well. We'll see on that. But that could be 5 videos of 5 versions of the same video with different languages, which would be pretty cool. But essentially that is to say, I've already been doing stuff today with the Spanish-speaking community, and now it's back. But right now what we're really doing is the Italian community against the Tunisian community and wider Maghreb. You can tell how long halves are in Strikers when you're watching one literally play itself by. I'm going to get a window open. I hope this doesn't create too much background noise, but I really need it. If this stream's going to take 2 hours, then we can't be doing it in the boiling hot. King Boo Studios telling us they can speak Spanish. Well, prove it. Say that Tale of the Toaster is the best Inazuma YouTuber in Spanish. You don't have to actually do that. I'm kidding. But you know, if I do my Gabi Garcia impression, it's technically less of a Spanish accent and it's more meant to be Colombian, because Gabriel Garcia is a real Colombian writer, and that's what the Inazuma Defender is named after. So basically they gave him a Colombian name in the English dub, and then his accent sounds kind of like that. It's very clearly like an English guy trying to do a Spanish accent. So I've managed to get the impression of an impression down. Could I do an accurate Spanish accent? Maybe not so much, but my Gabi Garcia kind of goes hard. Like I'm not closing the Discord tab of the formation because it's gonna be the same formation that was there in the first half, in the first attempt at this match anyway. So I've got nothing to hide here. In future matches, I do need to tab out whenever the formation is on screen, because that would allow for stream sniping, and basically the other player could watch my stream and then see what their opponent was going to change their lineup to. But here it doesn't matter because it's the same squad that was there on screen before. Verhaal van de Het Broodrooster is the best Inazuma 11 YouTuber. Didn't know how to Dutchify the last bit. TaleOfTheToaster is le peor YouTuber de Inazuma. There's my attempt at bigging myself up in Spanish. Bye bye Logan 7 Titan. He couldn't even get through the first match before he's got to go watch Barbie, but enjoy it with the missus. I'll be watching it probably early next week. For now, the point is they're actually playing, so I think they're either going to do 15 minutes worth, or they might play out the whole second half. But they're not like waiting for the 15-minute mark. They have just actually started from the kickoff of the second half in their brand new kit. So I hope you were paying attention to which one's which. We do have Gabi on the pitch. It's like he heard my Spanish impression of him. Soars in goal? No, I think he's just stood in front of goal as a defender. He's not. JP is hanging about there, just Soul's even further about. I can't see where Gabi actually is, but he can mixy max, so he must be a pretty good defender in this, just not as good as Saw, who's got jungle jam and acrobatic keep. Well, maybe if I keep doing the Gabi Garcia Colombian accent, then he'll suddenly take the ball or score a goal. You never know. But look forward to hearing his Italian voice in Bjorn's new video in a little bit. King Boo Studios has indeed pranked me. I called myself the worst YouTuber in Spanish. I mean, I'm the worst Spanish YouTuber for Inazuma because I'm not Spanish. That part's correct. They've kicked it out of play anyway. Good prank. I appreciate it. Who's? Oh, that's Gabi, just with the custom white hair skin. That looks badass. But it's also very hard to find Gabi when you're not looking for pink hair. He's very distinctive. I want to be Aitor, says Ryusei Boys. He wants me to talk about Aitor in this Spanish accent again, because I did this Twitter video last time I was in Valencia. I put on my best Gabi Garcia voice, and I was like, I'm looking for Aitor, and I was at the Science Museum in Valencia. And I just did like a 2-minute video looking for Aitor, but he was like pranking me, and Bailong has scored. And that's Filo BF, so that is the player who was already in the lead. So that brings the score from 4-3 up to 5-3. So this one might now be done and dusted, but it has been an exciting start despite the disconnection. Yeah, I did a couple of follow-up videos on other tourists, but I even went to Italy 2 months ago and I sent a video of Gabby looking for Aitor just to Bjorn privately. I never actually put it on Twitter, but I found it funny, he found it funny, and no one else would really understand because it had been too long. But yeah, so maybe next time I go to Spain I'll do some more Gabby is looking for Aitor clips. Because I probably am going to Spain in November, I think. Like, so here's me in Spain. I used to go all the time as a kid because my mum is very much the type who just wants to get away from work and not cook for a week and then go somewhere hot at Christmas instead of spending it at home unwrapping presents with the family and looking at the snow. She would want to be somewhere hot so that she could do as little as possible. And that's not me calling her lazy, it's just me saying that she really likes hot holidays. And she would always go. Her holiday trajectory in a year is basically like Spain, Spain, Greece, Spain, Greece, Greece, Cyprus, Spain, Portugal, Portugal, Spain, Spain, Greece. That's like in order her last few holidays. I've obviously made it up a bit, but it's always something like that. But when I was a kid, all of the Portugal and Greece and Cyprus and stuff got skipped. When I was ages 0 through 8, she would take me on holiday at most Christmases. Like, I'd spend one Christmas with my dad in England and I'd spend one Christmas with my mum. And all of those Christmases that I spent with my mum were spent in Spain, 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 and Spain. Genuinely 5 of them. And for the final one of those, I was like old enough to remember it. I had like Mario Party DS and the whole, like, my mum's boyfriend and his daughter were there with me, so it was like a whole family thing to like Benidorm or somewhere that there just isn't much to do. And, you know, Spain, those kind of Spain family holidays where you don't do anything other than swim in a pool and bathe beside the beach, they're all right when you're a kid, but when you're growing up a bit, you just get bored. So I'm like, alright, well, I've had my fill of Spain, having gone 5, possibly 6 times. I think I'm done for the rest of my life. But that all changed in 2022 when I started making a few friends in Spain, and I'd already sworn to like never go back, but I realised, hang on, if I go as an adult and I actually control my own life, I could actually have some fun. So I saw that my mum was going on holiday to Benidorm, as she always does, and I was like, Mum, I don't want to go to Benidorm, but I do want to go to Valencia. So if you book me on your trip, I'll stay with you in the hotel in Benidorm for a few days, and then I'll do my own little trip in Valencia, and then it would kind of teach me about how travel works again, because this was just after COVID restrictions had kind of cleared up. Oh, excellent goal from Jude there. A chip in past the goalkeeper. So it's still 5-4 in Italy's favour, but that was really good. Wow. So going to Spain as an adult hits completely differently. I mean, you can drink for one thing, but the weather is like, you appreciate it so much more when you've spent 27 years living in the UK instead of about 7. And when you can actually go off and travel somewhere that's not just the beach or the hotel, and you can actually go sightseeing. Spain's great! And they've got nerd shops everywhere. Like, I went to Alicante, and they had, like, 4 anime and manga shops, and they sell Inazuma 11 manga in quite a few of these. Both Alicante and Valencia, I went in so many nerd shops, and they were just brilliant. And met up with a whole bunch of friends there, and it's just awesome. The only problem is, now that I've said yes to my mum once and been like, yeah, you know what, I'll go on that Benidorm holiday with you, sure. She's kind of assumed from that point on that I'm going to come on all of them. Oh, another goal! No way! Is that the equaliser? That might just have equalised, you know. Is it 6-6? Bro, this match is insane. Yeah, because this kit has the Romania flag on it, and that is Team Italy. they just got scored on twice. And that La Flamme just referenced Italy in the name of the Hisatsu. It is 6-6 right now. And we've still got time. And this would not be happening if we didn't have the disconnect to extend the match's runtime by 15 minutes. This is crazy. Yeah, basically, Mum's booked me on another holiday to Benidorm in November. Basically, without even asking me if I wanted to go. And it's like... Right, and it's not like she's paying for me. I've still got to pay her for my flight and my share of the hotel. Like, it's not just a treat. She's booked me on to Spain and then asked for the money for it. But, like, it's booked now, so I guess I'm going back to Benidorm and Valencia and maybe go and see a different part on my own violation. So that's, like, happening in November. But I'm not, like, talking about it in certain terms because I, like, never really asked for it. But there's the story. I love Spain now. Do I need to go back this soon? Not necessarily, but I will. So, we've hit the 30-minute mark. It is absolutely critical now, because if you score a goal, you've won the match for your team. But no, it's going to end in a 6-6 draw. Obviously, it's going to appear as a 2-1 win for XXX Noga on screen because of the restart after the disconnect. But when you combine the first take and the second take, that is a total of a 6-6 draw between Selow from Tunisia and Aaronash from Italy. And if we could edit that match together, then it would be a banger. There's so much going on with that. Oh, hey, I've got some tweets notifications with the... You know what, let's put this on screen. Have a look at my Twitter notifications for a second, because here's the Gabby figure that you can throw down the stairs. Shout-outs to the name in chat that put that one here. Ken is holding a Gabby flush, ready to throw it away. And yes, indeed, you did get mentioned on the stream. Now your Twitter's here as well for anyone to follow if they so wish. Who is ?Coffee? A David Sanford fan, and that's pretty cool. Let's get the Twitter away for a second, and we've already got another stream loaded. I don't even need to cut to Inazuma 11 every day. I mean, the match clearly hasn't started yet. They're waiting for the other players to join, but let's just sit on the menu.
Allô.
Oh, hey up. We've got some...
Ça va bien, et toi?
And of course it's in French. What did you expect? Do we have anyone else we need to mute? Yep, I think that's one of the Italian players who's going to be joining us in a second. Oh, we've got two feeds. So we've got a choice between an Italian stream and a French language one on behalf of Maghreb. I'm going to stick to Italy for now, because I know that I've got some Italian speakers in the chat, like Bjorn, whereas I don't currently have any French-speaking viewers. But I do need to get the stream volume for that one up. Megalovania? Of course I'm going to pick the one with Megalovania in the background. Yes, please. So they're trying to sync up with Abdel. So that already tells me, without even seeing them, Abdel is going to be representing Maghreb because speaking French, and then the screen of whoever's currently got the Sean Frost background is the Italian player. So this is going to be Giu. That's spelled G-I-U. So Bjorn, if you could please tell me how Giu is pronounced. The opponent is obviously Abdel. So finally, the in-game names match the out-of-game names, so we can immediately tell who's who. And that is going to make Game 2 so much easier to watch. So here we go. Intro. Game number 2. We've got Abdel on the left for Tunisia and the Maghreb team. And on the right is Giu with the Resistance National logo, wearing the white kit. So the black kit is Maghreb. Which kit is that specifically? Is that Dragon Link? That might be Dragon Link. Get some suggestions in the chat. We've got a correction from Ryusei Boys. Giu is how you pronounce the Italian player's name. And the Italian player is going to have to deal with Mixie Max, Monkey Man, Simian Ape. That image was a YouTube thumbnail, apparently. I'm presuming we mean the Sean background, but... Yep, so if you've just tuned in for this match, we've got Maghreb on the left for the region of Tunisia and Morocco and Algeria, and they will be looking to try and take game point against Italy, having just completed a major comeback against Italy in the previous game, which went to 6-6. So, Dragon Link costume confirmed. That is what Maghreb is wearing, while I think... is that Team Ogre's away kit that Italy is wearing, or is it custom to just have the ogre eyes on it? I'm not sure if that's custom or not, but I can only imagine it's somehow linked to Team Ogre because of those eyes. It must be Team Ogre away, right? Strikers is pretty much the only time where you see the away kits in the game, to be honest. Like, did you know that Faye's kit in Chrono Stones, so when he's playing for Gaul, his kit is just his overworld design, but with a hoodie strap around thing instead. Basically, it's orange, but his away kit turns him all purple, and it's kind of sick. But then Simeon also has the in-game kit in Chrono Stone, where it's just his overworld orange kit. But when he puts on the away kit, it turns into like this piss green, and it looks dreadful. Look it up on the wiki. It was only uploaded yesterday by Airy Hunter, the person who helped me get the voice lines out of the game for my montages. That includes the one that Bjorn is uploading in 13 minutes in the Italian language. Are we going to get a goal here? No, Darren sweeps it up off our feet. So, nice and even right now. We've got Davy Jones getting involved because he's also got Ozone Flare, apparently. That's the move that works so well on the regularly used Eternal Light defender, who's meant to be one of the top tier defenders. But Davy Jones can rock that move instead, which is interesting. Again, Davy Jones is being used by Team Italy at the moment. And Team Italy is going for a shot right now. Weaving away from Thor, but weaved a little too far to actually get it into the back of the net. But that's a long pass. Maghreb getting tripped up by Edgar Partidus, was that? Oh, it must have been an adult Nathan. I mean, you can't blame me for getting those confused, can you? And yes, it is Ogre Away Kit confirmed by Bjorn. I keep calling you Bjorn. The name's Ivar now, but it's like, I always introduce you to my viewers as Bjorn. I feel like I have to say that at least once so people know who I'm referring to, but for the rest of the stream, we'll stick to Ivar, because that is the name that you're using now. So, cool. We've got Zanuck, meanwhile, for Team Italy, pressing into the box. Oh, look at the defending from Day! That is the Eternal Light Ozone Flare user that I was talking about, standing in exactly the right place. The goalkeeper was beaten, but the defender, ignore Goku, the defender was right there to header it away exactly where the chip-in was being placed. Really good defending. And now for Maghreb, now for Tunisia, we're going to have Simian Ape blasting past with decoy deploy. There's still too many people in the way, though. Davy Jones is finding his way around, but, yep, too many people in defence. Gabriel Bianchi, it's not dead naming, by the way. Bjorn has not in any way changed genders. It's just changed name out of pure interest. He was he, him before. He's still he, him now. I would never intentionally dead name somebody. But this is just like a change of nickname, more so, if that makes sense. But now we've got a long shot coming out from Shellburst into God Cannon. Well, this is going to be the first proper test for a goalkeeper. Oh, but we've got shot blocking from Zanuck using Vac Attack to weaken that long shot, to make things more doable for level 3 of JP. So this should be doable, especially with an armor-fied fighting spirit coming out with a jumping whack. And yeah, Gabriel Bianchi obviously saying just joking. You are, but I have to be sure, because if I ever dead named somebody in my professional Super Smash Bros. Commentary, or even got their pronouns wrong when I know what their pronouns are going to be, That's very offensive, and that would be my commentary career brought to a swift resolution at that point. It's very important to get people's pronouns and accurate names right. So even if that was just a joke, it is still something that I take very seriously regardless. But yeah, as cleared up by Ivar himself, it's just a change of a nickname. So we'll move on from that anyway. We've got Gamma running around just in circles to try and charge up the long shot. Coming out here with Atomic Spin. Pretty much uncontested there. That was very Mario Strikers style, to be honest. Just opening up that easy bit on the pitch to take a shot from. JP has time to bring out level 3. So that's going to be another armorified jumping whack. But with the shot chain from Soul Daystar, this could be a lot harder to deal with. But JP can still do it. Because, yep, Armify is going to beat out everything at the end of the day. That was a really good setup there to do Atomic Spin into Solar Nexus. But JP was just too good. Still got Megalovania in the background, by the way. I'm not like mentioning it at every turn, but it is making me laugh. But here we go, absolutely uncontested here. Italy gets into the box for a shot. And the Italy player is Giu. Giu has dribbled past the last of the defenders and gets the goal. Adult Nathan could do nothing. Darren LeChance was stood there like a lemon, does the dash back, and then kicks it into the back of the net. And 25 minutes in, we finally have our first goal. And it was from Giu for Italy. Going 1-0 in the lead. But Italy went 1-0 in the lead in the last game. And it ended up as a 6-6 banger. I don't think this one is going all the way to 6-6. But Maghreb could very much equalise off the back of this one. So we'll see. For now, can we make it 1-1 at the end of the first half? Or are things going to be looking all up for the Italians? Which would put them in the lead in the set so far. It's such a shame that 6-6 was such an exciting match. But in the long run, it's not really going to mean anything. Like, it was a draw. It boosted both of their goal differences up by... Well, goals scored up by 6. So this match, going into this, they were literally exactly even. We've got another 4 matches, including this one, to go to decide the outcome. So the draw could matter in the end if one of these teams starts getting an early lead. But for now, Simeon's doing his part. We've hit 30 minutes, so we're in stoppage time now. Trying to charge up another long shot here with Fireball Storm. Does that count as a long shot in Strikers? Apparently. Well, Axel Blaze going with the Fireball Storm from long range, chaining into a God Cannon from Cannon. This is the final chance to get a goal here in this first half. JP still has all the time in the world to charge up his jumping whack while armorified, though. He could do that, I think, as many times as he liked, I guess. So if you doubted JP, who's been in all of the matches tonight, by the way, no, that is a goal! And it's 1-1 this time. Because God Cannon, I guess, had a type advantage over the ground-type jumping whack. God Cannon is a wind move. Fireball Storm had the disadvantage, but God Cannon certainly doesn't. I'm really surprised that went in. But it is once again even Stevens. We can't separate these two. Italy keeps scoring first. But that's it for the end of the first half. And luckily, I don't have to do anything with tabbing out, because our lovely Italian streamer has done that for us. Giu has cut his feed so that we cannot possibly see what he's doing to his formation at half time. It's very helpful, so the stream will come back as soon as the formation is locked in. But yeah, the first match was a 6-6 draw. The second match has ended at 1-1 at the end of the second half. We've had our first goal of the night that was actually a Hisatsu going past the keeper and not just weaving around the keeper for a no-mash goal. It's exciting. I can't wait to see the second half. See if we're actually going to have a match that results in a winner. Can we get some predictions in chat? Who is going to win this match? Is it going to be Giu for Italy? Is it going to be Maghreb with Abdel for Tunisia? Or is it going to be another draw? I'm just going to get another promo tweet out. And of course, if you're already in the chat, I'm just about to put a promotional tweet out, so I'm going to include everyone in YouTube chat in the screenshot right now. If you've talked within the last 10 minutes, then you're in the tweet, so give it a retweet. We'll get some traction, and hopefully we'll get some more people joining us for this all-important quarter-final. So here we are, we get more Megalovania. They have swapped sides, so now Italy is looking to score into the goal on the right-hand side, and Tunisia is looking to score into the goal on the left. So here is Giu, mixi-maxing Gamma with Zanuck. I think Zanuck has also probably been taken off the pitch in the process, but he was here all along. He was here in the first half doing an atomic spin, and now we're going to see it again. But this is from real far away. No soul, no cannon this time, but a shot chain with maximum fire from Alex Zabel. This is a hell of an opener. Oh, and Darren can't get a move out in time. Well, all of a sudden, it's 2-1 to Team Italy. Giu literally respawned and scored. 1 minute and 39 seconds into the second half, Gamma got some clearance to set up a long shot, chained it with Axel, and that was it, in the back of the net. And meanwhile, from Lord Rinsler the Collector, the same user who showed us the plush Gabby, has just put in a £2 donation in chat. I didn't even realise I could get money from these streams. Like, I guess at one point a few years ago, it probably asked me, do I want to enable monetization on streams? And I'll have said, I mean, sure, I guess. I'm not going to do any streams anyway. Well, apparently it's just made me £2 tonight, so thank you, Rinsler. And yes, although I've been ignoring it in the chat up to this point, because you've paid me money, I will read out your message. Shout out Trouble Nation, Goku Sweep. Because ever since Goku appeared on the stream, that is the only thing that chat's been talking about for the past 10 minutes. A foul? Someone's just slammed the Eternal Light dude down to the floor here. It was a bit of a weak kickoff. Saw's just going to shut down the goal. But yes, thank you very much. That is the first time I've ever had a monetary donation in a stream. It's also only the third time I've ever done a stream, but it's just good to know that that's, like, even possible. That I can actually have money sent to me through these things. I certainly didn't ask, but I'm very glad to receive. So, that's nice. Meanwhile, are we going to get a goal? No, Saw is absolutely covering the whole range. Pterodactyl sweep, I don't know what this curse is meant to be doing. That's not mine. That's the Italian just clicking away. The curse is gone at the same time the Hurricanes were. Well, Alex Zabel is knocked down. Wow, who is that on stream? I couldn't possibly tell you. By the way, the stream gameplay for this match has been so much more lagless than the first one. Big shout-outs to Giu for giving us such good footage to comment on. We've got Miximax, Victor, and Vladimir coming out. I've not seen that in any of these matches so far, I don't think. But Emperor Penguin 7 from Adult Samford. That is a long shot going from the centre of the pitch into Doom Dive Drive from Vladimir or Victor, whichever one it actually is. I think that was Victor's voice. Can Darren stop this? Fully charging his move this time. I don't understand why he wasn't able to fully charge his move, Fiend Hand, against Maximum Fire, but he probably would have lost anyway, because he lost just there. and it's 2-2. And yeah, the fire-type move of Maximum Fire probably would have burst through. Doom Dive Drive is also a fire-type move, and that's why it got through Darren's Fiend Hand. So it's 2-2. Once again, it's a draw between these two teams. I can't believe only one of them will be able to move on to the semi-finals, to be honest. Because they're such an even match with each other. And they've only got 2 players left to make their debut. Like, there's still 5 matches, but they're mostly going to be between players that we've already seen up to this point. So if they're literally even, how do we decide a winner between Italy and Maghreb? All we've got to go on is the fact that Italy have been reliably scoring first. But this might be the decider right here. Fireball Screw from Vladimir, I think that was. I think that's going to get past Fiend Hand pretty comfortably, right? Not this time. Doom Dive Drive was strong enough, but Fireball Screw apparently isn't. Well, that's talked me a lot about this. Zikaria AK says, fun fact, Italy weren't supposed to be in the knockouts. Please tell me more about that in chat, because I can't actually get Discord open while I'm streaming the feed, so I have no way of checking who these teams faced in the group stages. So I'd love to know the backstory on how they got here in the first place. But of course, Ryusei Boys is one of the biggest fans of Darren LeChance in the world, so he's popping off that Darren has just stopped the shot. Wasn't popping off so much when he let that Doom Dive drive through, but we'll let it happen. Darren is like overall an above average keeper in Strikers. He's just ultimately there for dealing with teams that have wind-based shots, like Ultimate 11 Assault, for instance. If you hit him with a fire move, then that's going to be a lot trickier for him. Oh, apparently the DAC team got disqualified due to a lack of members. So DAC is referring to the German-speaking regions of Europe. So that's Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. They had a combined team, including one of the I think they were one of the favourites, because Milozaki was playing to represent Germany, and he is cracked at Inazuma 11 Strikers. They had enough players to do the group stage, because you only needed 3 there, but I guess when they got to the finals, maybe they needed 5 in total for this format. So Italy got 3rd in the group stage. Oh, so Italy... Yeah, you only needed 3 players to compete, but apparently one of their team members quit for some reason. I guess they just fell out or something. And so if DAC only had 2 team members, then they could not compete in the group stage. So Italy, they got 3rd in their group. They were out. But they got reinstated when Germany, Switzerland and Austria withdrew. And clearly it wasn't Germany, Austria and Switzerland by the end. It'll have just been Germany and Austria or Germany and Switzerland. No catching move from Darren LeChance. This Meteor Blade is gonna swoosh past him. And so the newly reinstated Italy are now finally losing again. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I won't delve more into the reasons of why the German, Austrian, Switzerland team fell apart. The main thing to know is they did get out of their group in 2nd place and they're not here anymore. So Italy are here in their place and they are putting up a respectable showing, but ultimately they are now not winning this match. So with 8 minutes left plus stoppage time, they have got to score within that time. Otherwise, it's going to be a big old win for Team Tunisia. Though it's also important to note, Germany got 2nd in the group stage because they lost to Italy. So even though Italy were eliminated, Italy does genuinely have a win over the DAC team. So that's at least a good bit of info. I'm sure even if Italy got 3rd, it was probably a close run thing anyway. So let's see if they can manage it. For now, Acrobatic Keep coming out from Saw. But it's in possession of Tunisia right now, and that is exactly what they want. If you notice that I flip-flop between Tunisia and Tunisia, that's because Tunisia is the British way of pronouncing the name of the country, but Tunisia is how they say it in America. And whenever I'm watching like Macwell videos about the World Cup, he'll always say Tunisia, and that is kind of where I hear the name of the country the most. I tried to look into which one is more accurate to how they would actually say it within Tunisia itself. And the answer's kind of neither, but Tunisia is ever so slightly closer to the native pronunciation than Tunisia is. So I've at this point kind of settled into saying Tunisia more, but I still chuck in the occasional Tunisia because that's what I'm supposed to say as a Brit. But let me know in the comments in your own respective language. How do you say Tunisia? Do you have a different name for it entirely, especially if you're in Spain or Italy or wherever? I'm interested to know. But right now, Italian Saw is going to Mixie Max once again to try and reclaim the ball. Can they draw level? The time has expired. We are in stoppage time right now. Instead, it looks to be Tunisia trying to get one more goal. Italy stops that one shut. But ultimately, I think they're out of time now to equalise, unless that would have been so clutch. In Italy, Tunisia from Ryusei Boys, apparently. There's the final whistle. It was such a close run thing, but Abdel has done it in the end, representing Maghreb as a player from Tunisia. He's just about beaten the Italian rep. So that means the scores are 1 win to Maghreb and 1 draw across both. So if Italy can win the next one, then after 3 matches they will be completely even. But any other result completely favours Maghreb right now. So we'll sit around and wait for game number 3 of a potential 5. In French, it's Tunisie. Interesting. Thank you for that one, Janus Greenway. That was a really, really good match, you know? Is that a different stream? No, that's just Abdel still hanging on, having just got a gigantic dub. But the next match is going to be between the Italian player Filo and the Tunisian player Luxie. So we're going to wait for one of those two to hop into the call, and then we will watch their footage. I could hop back to some Inazuma 11 every day in the meantime. Depends how long we've got. And let's get that one closed for now. And sure, let's do a teeny tiny bit of Inazuma 11 every day while we wait for the next match to get started. That sounds fun to me. Oh, that's so much louder than I expected. But here we go. So we beat the game at the start of the screen. If I opened Mark's feed, it would have genuinely rolled the credits again and re-beaten the game. But I've gone back into Axel's. Is this also just re-beating the game? This is the same scene we saw earlier, right? I mean, I'm happy to stat, but I literally just beat a video game earlier today. I very rarely get the chance to play video games through to the end these days. Genuinely, the only games that I'd completed this year was a replay through of Chrono Stones to get some footage for an upcoming video. And earlier today, I beat Project Raincode, or Master Detective Archives Raincode. I literally beat it earlier today, and now later this afternoon, I've beaten Inazuma 11 every day, which is funny. And now I guess it's making me beat it again, because we've run out of days in Inazuma 11 every day to show off. But is anybody in chat a Danganronpa fan? I'm sure there will be at least somebody, because if you even slightly if you like Danganronpa, you need to play Master Detective Archives Raincode, because it is made by the exact same people. It's got the same art style, the same composer, the same kind of concept of murder mystery stuff. It's got the same, like, 6-chapter format. It is a Danganronpa game, but now its own series because Danganronpa has kind of, you know, run its course as a concept. But this is literally Danganronpa, but again, with a new, more open world concept. So instead of being, you know, locked in a school or whatever, you're playing a detective who can go anywhere within a city, and you'll have cases all over the place. But the game was awesome. Let's quit every day now because we've beaten it again somehow. Yeah, I'm getting the impression that there are some Danganronpa fans in chat, and I can't stress enough, if you like Danganronpa, this is another Danganronpa game. It has just got a different title, and it is absolutely on that level. I loved Master Detective Archives Raincode, and if anyone has played the whole Danganronpa trilogy and then just ignores this game on purpose, then they don't know what they're missing. I kind of get, obviously it's a new series, people will need a bit of convincing, but I hope this is all the convincing you need, because literally, it's basically Danganronpa 4. What more do I need to say? Oh gosh, I loved it so much. But I've beaten it now, so now I've got nothing left. So the next game I'm going to play is Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. But yeah, Raincode was literally the second game that I'd completed all year. And now Inazuma 11 Every Day is the third, which is just funny. What's code ami in English? That just means room code, if I'm not mistaken. This is just the two players trying to find each other. I keep a note on my phone of all the games I beat in a given year, and I'm literally adding every day to it right now. Because no one can deny it. I just beat Inazuma 11 Every Day in this stream, and now I've sort of done it again. That is hilarious. But Small Toaster, hello. See you a lot on Twitter, not so much on the comments section, but good to see you swing by. Apparently you went to go and buy Raincode from game. I would say get it from a website called thegamecollection.co.uk, and if you can't get it from there, then you could always just download it from the eShop. But seriously, like, obviously it's not going to be a very well-stocked game because no one's really heard of it, but that's why I'm really keen to spread the word, because Danganronpa is super famous now. Like, that is mainstream, but nobody knows about its Switch exclusive sequel. And as soon as people get the message of, oh, this is Danganronpa 4, then people will start playing it. They just need to know it exists, and we want the game to get a sequel, or at least for the director to have enough financial backing to make whatever game he wants to make next. So I really, really hope the game isn't a financial flop, because it took years to develop. They literally started making it immediately after Danganronpa V3. Like, they mentioned the Danganronpa V3 development within the art book of the special edition that I bought, and I'm like, bro, that game came out in 2017. You've been working on this game for 6 years? Please don't let it be a flop, because it's so good. But that's all the plugging I can really get away with, because it's time for another match. There's no game audio. Oh, there is game audio. It's just really quiet. Let's get that turned up. And once again, I didn't check the teams. Good grief. Is there an Italian feed as well? No. Luxie is in the call. Luxie is the Maghreb. Oh, Luxie's there and Luxie is there. Yeah, Selow is one of the Italian players. They're just watching. Okay, so yeah, this stream is not perfect quality. It's got quite a lot of stuff covering it up, and it's a little bit lower quality, but it's the only one available. So we're just gonna have to hold that. There's Sol Daystar getting his presence known as ever. So let's try and work out who is who. Well, it'll be easy if we get a goal. Into the hands of Zanuck Domains, goalkeeper. Haven't seen him yet. Just going to have a quick catch up on the chat. Hop Up Enjoyer says, have I played World's End Club? No, I haven't actually. People didn't review that one very favourably, and I'm not sure why. That one seems a lot more divorced from Danganronpa. It's got the Danganronpa art style, but the game itself otherwise seems really different. And I might try it at some point, but it's apparently just alright. Whereas Raincode is clearly the one that's like a proper Danganronpa successor that's really, really good. And the one that the actual director himself moved on to. But that's a good reminder, because, yeah, that game really fell under the radar. Hey, we've got Hill Valley on the defense. He's a nice one to see. And then it's back to Sol Daystar, who we're going to see every time, of course. But don't be surprised. It's already been 8 minutes. Are we going to get a shot here? David Sanford is charging up, but he just can't get the room, so he passes back in the end. Axel has got Fire Drill. They really wanted to make Axel good in Strikers if they're going to give him defensive moves. Unless maybe that's just something they decided to do in the Strikers 2013 Xtreme mod. Again, I haven't mentioned in this particular stream yet, but the release timeline of Inazuma 11 Strikers games is there's the first one, Inazuma 11 Strikers, then there's the second one, which is Inazuma 11 2012 Strikers Xtreme, which is Go 1 based, and then they made Inazuma 11 GO Strikers 2013. So there is no game officially called Inazuma 11 GO Strikers 2013 Xtreme, but the fans made it. They essentially took the 2013 build and improved it by adding stuff like what you're seeing right now. Chuga Liang Mixie Max for Bylong is not in the base game. Sol Daystar can Mixie Max with Chuga Liang, but Bylong cannot, which feels a little unfair. So I think Fire Drill getting added to Axel Blaze is probably specific to the Xtreme mod. Probably not something that's there by default, but I can't tell you what all the differences are. It certainly doesn't add like characters from Galaxy or anything that extreme, but it allows you to mod in your own kits. It adds in Bylong's Mixie Max and a couple of other important changes, and this is the version of the game that is played the most in competitive, even though it's not technically an official game, which I think is really intriguing. But I can imagine if they were playing 2013 vanilla, it would probably... If you think there's too many Sol Daystars on the team already, imagine playing the unmodded game where they don't have Bylong with his access to Chuga Liang. The teams would probably be even more unvaried in the vanilla game. Yeah, maybe Axel does have Fire Drill anyway, according to BB, but hey, I've never played Strikers. Have I mentioned that part yet? I'm getting all kind of used to the game now, because this is my third stream of the Strikers World Cup, but I've literally never ever played Strikers. I own the first one. I was kind of... Oh, we got a goal! From Piss and Lit is the name of the player. Great. Thanks for that one. Luxie is on the left. So let's confirm Luxie is the Maghreb player from Tunisia, while the one called Pissenlit is actually Filo, or Filo. It'll be Filo from Italy, who is taking a shot with Dragon Driver. Oh no, I think that's Maghreb taking the shot. Dragon Driver into Celestial Smash. Well, this would be a quick equalizer if this goes in. Frappe Stellaire. Yeah, it's currently Italy in the lead because they got the goal, and that's what they need, having just lost the last match to Maghreb. Shot chain into Maximum Fire. Hello! It's Hero! It's just a reskin of Paolo Bianchi. It's not actually Hero from LBX. Odin saw as the giveaway that it is just a reskin Paolo Bianchi. Everyone seems to reskin Paolo Bianchi in this game. I don't know why, but that is a goal. Luxie has put one in the back of the net for Maghreb, instantly equalising. I love the in-game tag is Out World Cup, 3 question marks. Directed at Italy, who were already eliminated and then reinstated. Filo is what Ivar is telling me to pronounce that Italian name as. Okay, Filo for Italy against Luxie from Tunisia. Well, that's a French name, so it could be more like Luxie, I don't know, but we'll try and Englishize things a bit for everyone anyway. Once again, we have a draw. This is the most evenly matched set I have ever seen in Inazuma 11 Strikers. Actually a bit bonkers how evenly matched these two are. And then you could put one of them against the Japanese team and they might just get crushed, which would be sad. But Japan are currently dominating the World Cup, is the insight I can give. Let me just look on the previous fixtures a little bit, because this is the second match in the knockout stages, so it's the second quarter-final. We yesterday had Portugal versus Bulgaria, and I never saw this coming, but Bulgaria won. Oh, that was a Group D match. No, never mind. So Bulgaria, I think, got out of the group, but that was a result for their group match. Oh my god, Luxie scored! Never mind. We'll look at the fixtures another time. So, Tunisia's in the lead now. Out World Cup? Well, you might be now, because this is a second match in a row where Italy are now trailing. That's definitely a dangerous spot. Yeah, the first match of the quarterfinals was between China and Poland. That happened yesterday, and I believe China won, but I don't have 100% certainty on that one. This is the second quarterfinal between Italy and Maghreb, which is currently in Maghreb's favour. I've messed up again. China versus Poland was a group match too. France versus China was a quarterfinals match, which will be happening tomorrow. Bulgaria versus Southeast Asia will be happening the day after that, so that's Bulgaria versus Indonesia and Malaysia, I think. There might be a couple more countries involved. And we're missing one of the quarterfinal matches entirely for some reason. I'm not sure why. Well, it looks to be the Japan one. I'm presuming that Japan have had another match and beaten whoever they came up against at this point, because the Japanese team have yet to lose in this World Cup or the previous one. They're insane. That was a really critical tackle from the goalkeeper there, who's now trying to run out of bounds. Apparently this is the first quarterfinals match. Well, that's a change of schedule then. This was meant to be the second, I think, but we'll run with it either way. So that would bring 8 teams down to 7. Nobody wants to be the first. It would be so unfortunate if Italy got reinstated. They were already eliminated after getting third in their group. They got reinstated after the Germany, Austria, Switzerland team withdrew. If they then were the first team to get knocked out of the quarterfinals, that just sucks. You know? Like, obviously, Maghreb is probably favoured because they were a team that actually got out of their group on their own merits rather than getting third and then benefiting off a disqualification. But for Italy to be the first ones to fall would just be awful for them, especially when they're playing really well in this. And they may get a goal here. Joseph King just goes for a regular catch and he is beaten, and I forgot which side was which. It's 3-1 in Luxie's favour. Team Italy were winning this 1-0 at the start, but it is 3-1 down now at pretty much the end of the first half. And that would mean Italy will be on life support if they lose this match, because game 1 was a draw, 6-6. That still benefits both. Game 2 was a very narrow win for Maghreb by 1 goal. This would then be a pretty dominant win for Maghreb. So essentially what I'm saying here is that in 3 matches out of 5, Maghreb have not yet lost, while Italy, despite getting a draw, have not yet won. So they might bring it back though. Look at that! A huge header within the first half. But don't let me act as if Italy have already been eliminated. They're on death's door if they lose this match, but they have not lost this match yet, especially when Bailong, is he building up a warp step to get past Hill Valley, or has he got a long shot of some kind? No, he doesn't. Hey, up! we've got another £2 from Lord Rinsler to celebrate Joe King being on the pitch. Obviously, Lord Rinsler's profile pic is of Joe King. Unfortunately, Joe King kind of let that one go in the back of the net, but don't worry about it too much. I have to close this tab now so you can't see the changes to the formations. But, right, so Lord Rinsler and Trouble. I need to clear something up because there is somebody in chat called Trouble and there's somebody in this chat called Lord Rinsler, and they are both making jokes about the plush Gabby that I saw on Twitter a long time ago. Well, a few weeks ago. I can't... Are you the same person or are you just like long-term friends? Because you seem to know each other very well, but I've not really seen you in any of my YouTube comments or previous streams before. Are you just like besties who you like come as a package? Or is this genuinely just a coincidence and you both like Gabby plushes and you've both gotten to know each other over this? Trouble is the content creator who owns the plush. And then Rinsler is just in some way connected to the... Well, it's good to have mates here in this very small niche community that is the Inazuma 11 English. Apparently they're watching on a call with Ray Ray as well, but if you're watching on a call, how can you hear me? Tell you what, you'll be talking others. But good to know that you're not just a duo, but a trio. You can bring out your Triangle Z or the Triangle ZZ anytime you like. But I'm just glad to have people watching along in the stream because I'm still very new to actually doing streams, and thanks to Rinsler in particular, I've made £4 off it. So that's good. And I will remember Trouble's pronouns are she, her. That's good to know. I never actually used pronouns for at any point, but now I can freely, because you never want to get it wrong, after all. BB says, what are mates? I can't tell if that's a joke or if it's because you're just not from the UK, where, admittedly, mates is a very UK word. It could just be a joke about yourself not having pals, or it could genuinely be a language thing, but I'll answer just in case. Mates is a UK term for friends. But either way, you got a giggle out of me, so excellent. Arian Sherwind is going to bring out Pegasus. Again, it's not Arch Pegasus, it's regular Pegasus, the one that can dribble. That is considered better in this game than Arch Pegasus, because Arch Pegasus can only take shots, and generally you're going to have a much easier time scoring by no dashing past the keeper and having no special moves involved at all. So having the extra dribbling move with Pegasus is generally a bit better than having a shot. But Tezcat is going to get that goal, and it is 3-3. And we got the very aesthetically... I love hearing Tezcat's goal celebrations. They sound so great. Like, he was a highlight of making my Go Galaxy goal celebrations montage, because I was familiar with his clips anyway. It was the first time I'd heard their translations. Oh, we got a long shot here with Plasma Ball. I actually set Tezcat as my captain in my own personal save file of Go Galaxy Supernova, just because his voice clips are so nice. A lot nicer than Arian's at that. He's got this one that sounds like, ah, Mario, Mario! And that one lives rent-free in my head. I just love Tezcat's voice in both the dub and in Japanese. But yeah, so if you haven't watched that goal celebration montage yet, just go on my channel. You'll find an English dub one and a Japanese dub one. And then over on Ryusei Boys' channel, as of today, the Italian version has also been uploaded as well. And speaking of Italian, they are now losing once again. We got a long shot from Maghreb to put them 4-3 in the lead. This is so close yet again, but it's exactly what Italy does not need. Italy is desperate for a dub here, because if they do lose, it's almost all over for them. They would have to win every other match tonight just to bring it to a tie-break scenario on goal difference. So Italy, they'll settle for a draw here, but what they really need is a win. If Maghreb win this, it's going to be very hard to come back. And that just doesn't feel befitting of how close this set is. So let's see if Arian can get a goal right here and equalise. No way past the keeper, and Saw is going to intercept with Pterodactyl Swoop. Me, an American, thinking of mates in a romantic way. What the heck does that mean? I've never heard of the word mates in a romantic, unless you mean mating. And somehow I don't think that's what you mean. Simeon is going on a mega run here. How did Saw reach from here? I guess he's mixy-maxing. But is he going to be able to do his move as well? Yeah, no, Simeon's out of range, but he has no way to get past. Level 3. Wait, are we going to get Evera going for the Mortal Smash right in front of the keeper? Oh my word, that takes skill to get that out at close range when everyone is on your ass trying to stop you from scoring. Saw was like covering the entire bottom half of the pitch, so Simeon had to escape to the top to get a shot going. Fully charged it. Infinite Wall is still incredibly hard to beat. So much so that a move from Inazuma 11 just beat the strongest fighting spirit shot from Chrono Stones. That's bonkers. I'm not going to lie. I would be interested in seeing Italy catch up here, just for the tension of the future matches we've got to come. But that was Maghreb taking a shot there, and they 100% deserve to score. I know we've got Joseph King fans in chat, and yeah, I love the guy as well. He's a great goalkeeper. But how can you tell me that a close-range mortal smash from Simeon's fighting spirit got blocked? That's absurd. Why did that not work? This should be 5-3. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Maghreb just got robbed. Well done, Joe King and Hill Valley. It's good to see that Hill Valley and Joseph King are on the pitch to make that work. I guess that's a prerequisite. Obviously, on Neo National, Infinite Wall is part of Joseph King's moveset, but I wouldn't have thought you needed to have Hill Valley on the pitch to make it work, but considering Hill Valley is here, I guess you do. So for now, this could be the equaliser for Italy. Nope, Zanuck, the main guy. I really need his actual name, but he sweeps out, and he's once again trying to run out of bounds. This is how you can tell who's playing. This is how you can tell it's Luxie, because that is their favourite thing to do. Just grab the ball and then try to run away from the match entirely. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Infinite Wall, Infinite Wall, Infinite Wall. Indeed. Here comes Pegasus anyway, again for another dribble. We're nowhere near the goal at this stage yet, though. Yeah, Aaron just having to retreat to build up another move. Now armorifying. No, mixy-maxing, sorry. So we're going to see some Sword of the King very soon. But the main thing there, if you mixy-max in the vicinity of other players, if you do it at the right time, the mixy-max itself will knock down a lot of the other players. Oh my word. And by knocking down those players, you have the room to collect your teammates. Goldie and Saw getting involved for a canonically accurate Ultimate 11 assault. It's still quite far away from the goal. Infinite Wall might just block this anyway. But it really shouldn't, right? It's Ultimate 11 assault. And it's not good enough. Mortal Smash can't score. Ultimate 11 can't score. Joseph King is in fact the best to ever do it. And that's precisely what Italy needs. But they also need to score a goal. Clearly their goalkeeper's sound. Yes, he's let 4 goals past him up to this point, but he's just learned what to do and will not let another goal in. And we have another £2 donation from Lord Rinsler the Collector. That is a total of £6 from this stream. That's more than I've made from any YouTube video ever, except for the sponsored ones with Buyee, obviously, because they were sponsored. But clearly streaming is the wave. This is how I can get £6 into my pocket. Well, thank you very much for the repeated donations. They are genuinely appreciated, especially because I didn't even know I had the option to receive donations. I'm clearly not doing these streams to make money, am I? I'm doing these to show off the Strikers World Cup. And if it makes me a couple quid in the process, then that's great, because I just went to a robot tournament last week. I had to spend hundreds rebuilding my robot for that tournament, and it got trashed again. It still works, but it's a very expensive hobby, and I clearly need more money to be able to keep doing it. So, might as well be upfront with that. Can Tezcat dribble past it using crisscross to get adult Nathan Swift out of the way? This is a one-on-one with the keeper. Wait a minute. Gets past the Xanax domain keeper, but I think accidentally kicks it into his hands. The no-mash was a really good dodge to get down to the bottom side of the box, but I feel like there had to have been a misinput or something there, because surely wanted to kick it into the goal, but instead just kicked it into the keeper's hands when you'd already gotten past him. That is mega unfortunate for Italy, because that would have been the equaliser, and instead they're dealing with another Ultimate 11 assault right now. And if time runs out, that's it. That's a second win for Tunisia. Murail Infini has yet again stopped the Ultimate 11 assault from 3 Mixi-Maxed members of Chronostorm. Literal insanity, but it is going to secure a 4-3 win for Luxie, representing Tunisia and the wider Maghreb team. That was a weird finale. It feels like Maghreb should have won that one 7-4. But Joe King was just invincible for some reason. And then Italy also had a genuine opportunity to actually equalise it with the no-mash strategy, but just slightly messed it up at the end. Again, that's the perspective of someone who's never played Strikers. I might just be wrong. Maybe that wasn't a scoring scenario, but I feel like it was. And apparently that Infinite Wall and the Ultimate 11 Assault were exactly the same power, and it just chose to favour Infinite Wall. That's interesting. The stream is continuing from Luxie's feed because Luxie immediately needs to go into another match. So he's just beaten Filo from Italy in Game 3. He's instantly going to fight Aaronash now from the Italian team in Game 4. So there's no need to change the streams or anything like that. But Tunisia have now won 2 matches in a row in addition to the draw at the start. So that means Italy's only hope of survival is if they win the next 2 matches outright. And that's left in the hands of Aaronash, who got the original 6-6 draw, and then Filo, who just lost that match to Luxie. He would need to beat Selow in Game 5. And Aaronash, all the pressure's on. If Aaronash cannot win this match, it's over. They'll probably still play Game 5 just for the stats and for the fun of it. But if Tunisia wins this match, they are absolutely, without a doubt, through to the semi-finals. Which I think would be a bit of an upset. Obviously spurred on a bit by the withdrawal of the German alliance. They were probably favoured to beat either of these teams, but they're not here. So that's that. Italy have to tap into the plot armor big time if they want to survive this one. But they do have a bit of plot armor on their side already, is the thing. The fact that they're even still in the tournament is a miracle, and very much a happenstance bit of It was a circumstance, shall we say. Luxie is the team on the left with the new Inazuma National logo, while the Royal Academy logo on the right represents Aaronash for Italy. Oh, banger music choice. Yes! Yes, we're having an absolute tune for what might be the deciding match for Maghreb. So get it in the hands of Sol Daystar. We know how this game works. Let's just have a bit of a drink for a sec. There we go. So we get... I went away when Sol had the ball, and I came back when he's doing a plasma cut. And now Tenshi, right, mate? Wait a minute. It's Thunder Taker time already? From here? Kevin is going to shot chain with Dragon Driver as well. And the shot came from Luxie, because Luxie was the team on the left. Miximax JP is able to fully charge his move, so that's going to be an armor-fied jumping whack with the Miximax on board as well. I think the Miximax is just an aesthetic thing because he never actually did the animation. He just looked like that from the start. Yeah, that is enough to beat Thunder Taker and Dragon Driver combined. That's a bit insane. But it's exactly what Italy needed, because that would have been Maghreb in the lead yet again. And that is the last thing they could possibly ask for. Now we're going to armorify White Wyvern. I've never seen that in Strikers before. It's going to set up the Dragon Driver. No Miximax is present on Bylong right now. But there is one on Zanuck, which gives him access to Vac Attack on the defense. Can't stop it outright, but it will weaken the Dragon Driver so that JP can catch it again. So JP is holding firm as a keeper, but also this entire match has been Tunisia taking shots at Italy's keeper, which is not very encouraging for a must-win situation for the Italian teams right now. But this might be the chance. They're in the new Inazuma National kit, just as they've got the logo for it, which obviously makes sense that Bylong's one of their key players. Well, actually... No, it is No, it's Luxie in the new Inazuma National kit and logo. Yeah, had that wrong for a second, but Emperor Penguin number 7, we're getting a third shot on goal from Tunisia. It hasn't even made it to the goal yet. We're getting Asterox within this half of the pitch and successfully blocks it. Asterox beat out Emperor Penguin number 7 outright, and now finally Italy are in possession within the box, and they've not scored! Oh, Nathan clutching up! That was the moment where Italy took the lead, and it's been taken away from them at the death! No way did that happen just there. That was literally a perfect setup. Emperor Penguin number 7 was the moment where Tunisia were getting a bit cocky. They were going for the third long shot of the match within the first 10 minutes. It was blocked very easily by Italy. They took possession in the process. No mashed past the goalkeeper. They were about to score. And then Nathan just re-emerges. Omae Shunderu. Nothing personnel, kid. And just stops what was about to be the Italy goal of the set. And now Bylong is going to run into Zanuck, going to try and warp step right past him and get a one-on-one with JP. Warp step wins against Zanuck. So wasn't enough. Can he get the ball past JP? No, he was too close range. And JP captures it again. So the scores are still 0-0, but that is to Maghreb's benefit. This is tense right from the off, you know. Oh my word. Arch Pegasus is going to get things... This is a second opportunity for Italy. Again, Aaronash is the one playing for Italy right now, and he is the only one who has not lost yet for Italy. That sounds like very harsh wording, but I do mean it as a genuinely important point. Aaronash was responsible for that 6-6 banger at the start of the game, at the start of the stream. So, yes, Italy haven't won a set yet, but Aaronash in particular hasn't lost. So if anyone is going to get a dub for Italy, this is the guy. But can he pull it off? Right now, you've got to snatch it away from Goldie, who is trying to charge up possibly a Do-Re-Mi. No, Skywalker, dance on air to get past. That was a lot of charging just to get Skywalker out. It's so hard not to call it Skywalker, because not only are the... Like, I'm always a dub name preferer, right? But they are saying Skywalker in the stream. It's very audibly Skywalker. Skywalker's a badass name. And then in Ares, they made Skywalk the official dub name. They redacted Dance on Air and gave it a new dub name because they didn't realise the move already existed in Go. So Skywalk is an official dub name of that move, even though in this context, it's Dance on Air. Ooh, this is a close range moment. Hold up. Nathan wins with the jungle jam. And that means no close range shot for Kevin right there. So I think both teams have a Nathan on them. But is that young Nathan? Yeah, there's definitely another Nathan on the pitch right up here. Unless it's Edgar Partonus after all this time. But Emperor Penguin number 7, will it be blocked by Asterox this time, or will it make it a bit further down the field? Soul Daystar is going to chain with Meteor Blade. That's critical. Wait, no, that's a shot block! Meteor Blade has sent it all the way back to Mark Evans. This is Italy taking a shot right now. I'm confident Margin the Great can stop this. And he does, but once again, the Emperor Penguin 7s have not helped Maghreb whatsoever. It starts a shot, but Italy just immediately snipes it down and answers back with a block or a shot of their own. It's still 0-0, but here's a Thunder Taker from Bylong, and that's one of the strongest shots available. Shot block again. Or is that a shot? No, that's got to be a shot block. Because let's just see. We've seen Dragon Driver from Kevin. It's still heading towards JP. I think that was 3 shots in a row. So that is quite a lot to deal with. But with the power of Armor Fight, I think he's going to do it, to be honest. Yeah, he does. Even with the type disadvantage, a ground move just beat the air move. Well, if it does end 0-0, that still means it's unwinnable for Italy. Oh no, that was the moment. Arian got into the box to try and take a shot, and Saw just didn't even use a move. He just charged him down. Game over. A plasma cut on Axel Blaze, and he's got a voice clip for it. That's very interesting. But you know what? Luxie, he did his main job by winning the last match. All he really needs to do now is just not lose. And if he's willing to pad for time and just do a load of long shots, that's fine. Italy ultimately don't really have the answer. JP can only get his second move. He looks to be running out of stamina. So he's got a jumping whack, but it's not armor-fied this time. And as a result, it goes in. JP could not stop the shots forever. And Luxie at the brink of death makes it 1-0 in the lead for Maghreb. And that is the last thing Italy wanted to see right now. We may be coming to a close here. We've got Haku in the chat. Haku's one of the actual participants and one of the streamers for this. Good to see you in chat, watching along and offering some insight on how the teams actually play. Like, you know, the Luxie's playstyle, it's not trolling, it's genuine. This is just the way you can do it. But yeah, JP's TP and stamina were just so low down that he can't stop any of the shots. Arian is going to try and dribble past the defender and try to equalise here. He'd have to no-mash past Mark Evans. But Sword of the King will get him that 1v1. Can Italy equalise here? No, doesn't get the read on the movement. Mark Evans was heading to the top, which is exactly where Aaronash was headed. So that was really good goalkeeping from the positioning of that Mark Evans to keep it 1-0 in the lead. Gosh, this is so tense. But onwards we go. That's the whistle for the first half. Let's get the feed shut down once again, so we can't show the squads. But yep, we've had a draw between the two, and now we've had nothing but wins from Tunisia ever since. So this has been a good strategy from Luxie. I'm really impressed, especially because it's so different to the way that Luxie was playing in the last game. It's a complete switch up from how they were doing before. But Aaronash, this is someone who can give us 6 bangers. Hasn't even been able to get 1 goal here because Luxie is ultimately just shutting him down. But we still have a second half. If Italy win this, they are still in contention. So I'm going to just say nothing conclusive until the end. Still getting that formation secured for now. The banger track starts again. I'm still so happy to be hearing this. And here goes the second half. I've just had an offer from Haku in the chat. Saying he could help to co-cast. And offer some game knowledge, which would be pretty cool. I think you're already in the call, right? I just... because I'm new to streaming, I don't quite know how to play your audio out of the Discord call while still having you be muted for everyone else. I guess everyone else has probably individually muted you by now. Are you in the call right now? Not yet, but if you do join it, give us a nudge and we can let you on for a bit, because we've still got another match to go after this, and my voice can only properly carry for so much. Ray saying, I'm sorry, Mr. Toaster, for being annoying. Why are you saying that? Not being annoying at all. I've enjoyed everyone's support here in the chat. We've got 25 people right now, but everyone's really invested, and that's just been great to see for someone who's so new to doing streams. And Bjorn is obviously still around to support the Italians until the death. We've got Ephemeral Boost coming out right now in a shot chain. JP having a bit of a waver, choosing between level 3 and level 2. I can't see any reason not to go for level 3 here. So, armorifying and jumping whack, that should be enough to stop it. Is this a different JP? Or has he just healed all his TP? No, his TP must still be depleted because he's let another goal in. That was a pretty easy goal from Ricardo there. Which, I think at this point, has put the final nail in the coffin for Italy, to be honest. They've got 25 minutes to get 3 goals. Otherwise, they're gone, and they have to stop Luxie from scoring anymore for Tunisia. And JP just doesn't seem capable anymore. He wasn't having the low stamina graphic over him or anything, but... you know, there were changes made to the squads at half-time, and I would have assumed one of those would, for free, be a new goalkeeper. He's apparently just healed the TP in the menu, which I guess is allowed. I didn't know you could use healing items in this, but... okay, so a full heal on JP, but doesn't seem like it was enough, because definitely got beat there by Ephemeral Boost, and that's not even a move that has a type advantage over Jumping Whack. So with 2-0, Luxie's just going to keep playing anyway with exactly what suits him. Just take more shots from the middle of nowhere and just run the timer down, because you've only got 20 minutes left to go with, and Gamma is here at close range. Passes back to Kevin. Excellent save from JP to stop that one from going in without a special move. But that was a very normal football play that happened just there. Ah, Goldie's glowing! She's proper on the chase. Here comes another Emperor Penguin 7, and they've never worked out favourably so far for Luxie. But Luxie also just doesn't care, because it's still running down the time, even if they're not making it to the goal. La Flamme is enough to stop Emperor Penguin 7 outright, like we expected. Fire beating wood, and Emperor Penguin 7 just isn't that strong. But Bobsled, he's going on a run straight to the keeper. Is this going to be a fighting spirit to dribble past the player in his way? Rat-a-tat pass. And is this going to be a goal? No, Saw is still messing about, just to make things harder. Lance des Chasseurs. We just have another check of the chat, see if Haku is in there. Yeah, no, but Haku, I think it would work if you joined the call and then I just muted everyone other than you. Because it's not like they've deafened the other people in the call, right? It's just I've been individually muting everyone. So I think that would be a way to get a co-commentator on. But if it's for future ones like the semi-final, I'm honestly not sure which other streams I'll be able to cast because I'm only ever free on Mondays, Thursdays, and Wednesdays, and the occasional Friday. This is a Friday where I was able to. Can't necessarily do them all, but every Tuesday and every weekend I'm busy. So, but we can have a test run now potentially. Bobsled has manoeuvred past the keeper, brought out Rat-a-tat pass to possibly KO the final defender in the way, and then this should be a goal, right? Should be nothing left to stop this. Yep, that's 2-1. If Italy makes this comeback, that's bonkers. I'd be so here for it. That would be the comeback of a lifetime, but they've got 13 minutes to do it. They can't settle for 2-2. They have to win. Thank you for saying this is the best stream of all time. Well, it might be my best out of the 3 I've done so far. I think I can say that with enough confidence at least. The previous streams had more blind reaction to how strikers worked, whereas this has just had the best match. I feel like it's been really even, and genuinely hard to tell who's going to win. Haku is here, so I'm going to turn you up, and feel free to pipe in. See if we can hear you. Haku possibly can't hear me. I'm probably muted on his end within the Discord call, but I have unmuted the guy. So if somebody starts talking, then great, we've got a co-caster. And if we don't, hello. I heard one word.
Can you hear me?
I'll unmute. Okay, so I guess everyone else can manually unmute me. If I'm here on the other multi-language streams, whoops. Never mind, but that should be okay. I think everyone must have me individually muted anyway. Haku, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Excellent. Never had a co-caster for one of these before. Oh, I got a goal! Wait, no, we don't! Oh no,
Luxie's pulling some insane moves.
That was literally going to be 2-2 there. And you know what? Obviously, Italy needs to win this to stay in the contest, but getting a draw at 2-2 would at least look nice on the board to get another point for a draw. It would confirm their defeat, but they would also... they'd at least have a draw, yeah. which would be comforting, but it's nicked away from them.
Aaronash needs a win here. He can't settle for a tie, else it's all over anyways. I saw a few times in the chat that some people were saying that Luxie is trolling because he keeps using Emperor Penga number 7. I don't think he's actually trolling here. It's just a good chain start. He can get it off quick. Samford has great movement with his dashes, so he can just position the way he wants. And then he just uses a weak chain start because he knows with the way he plays, he can get up all the chains either way. So I think that's rather how he plays instead of actively trolling or just wasting time.
And there you go. That's why we have an actual Strikers player come onto the commentary for a bit of insight there. Because I've really been enjoying commentating these tournaments as a complete outsider to Strikers. I obviously know a lot about the rest of Inazuma 11, but Strikers is something I've never played, especially not competitive. So always good to get the blend of my genuine first reactions to everything and a bit of actual knowledge. But we're in the final 2 minutes of regular time, and Italy still need 2 more goals, so it looks like this is potentially going to be the decider. But here comes a Do-Re-Mi to get another long shot going.
Oh, I think this will be a goal. I think this will be a goal. There's at least one more trainer charged behind Lucian.
So they've got to charge up in advance to make that work, have they?
Yeah, exactly. So they're waiting for the players to charge. Everything you see in that game is based on certain calculations or numbers, basically. So after a certain point of time, your players will be charged. and the best chain players have memorized these times or managed to just play after feeling just how they think it will work out. And then they use this timing to just align a 3 or 4 player chain through the middle. That's what the offensive midfielder is for. And then it works just fine. Just like Luxie did here.
That is the skill level of Luxie. And that is how they've managed.
Luxie,
oh, we've got a French voice. Hold
t'es
on.
pas un vrai Tunisien, tu veux pas, c'est maintenant, là, tout de suite.
Let's get Adem muted. Yeah, that was a really measured goal. No, the fact that they just know on instinct where all 3 of those players were going to be and had them charged up in advance for that long shot coming, that's so much foresight. Yep, we got some more French coming in. Oh wait!
3-2.
Well, we missed a goal in the process of removing some co-casters. That's what Italy needed ages ago. It is ultimately too late. They need 2 goals to win this, and with time basically already elapsed, I don't think it's possible. But at least we'll have another match after this, even if Maghreb have already won and moved on to the semi-finals. We'll still play the other match for the sake of it, most likely, and that means I get to hang out with Haku a little bit longer and learn about the game before it's too late.
Yeah, about the knowing where the players are, it's actually pretty interesting. So, you know, we see the same formation pretty much, which is just F middle block, 3 defenders, 4 midfielders, 1 offensive midfielder, and then the strikers finish it off. In this formation, the way the NPCs, the AI moves, is if you chain through the middle, both of the forwards will be in a position where they can chain and create this powerful shot that Luxie used. So this is why he actually cuts inside instead of just using the outside to chain directly.
But ultimately, 61% possession from Team Maghreb. That was probably the biggest wipeout of the lot in the end, which is kind of crazy because I thought Aaronash was their best player based on the 6-6 match at the start. But yeah, ultimately, that is Maghreb going through to the semi-finals with the team of Tunisian players. Really good effort from Italy to stay competitive all the way through, but they are now eliminated in joint 5th place. They've still got one more match they can do for the fun of it, and I hope you'll all be sticking around for that in chat because I've got Haku co-commentating with me and I'll learn about the game in the process. So that's really the true point of this extra game. So while you're here, Haku, could you introduce yourself a bit to the stream viewers for anyone who's not familiar, including me, to be fair?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm Haku, I'm German, maybe you can hear it from my accent already. I don't have the most British English, but I'm still trying my best. I play Strikers myself, and I don't want to sound arrogant, it's always bad to sound arrogant, but I want to say the ace in quotation marks of the DACH team, which sadly had to be DQ'd after personal issues that got the team ending dissolved after passing the group still.
But it's not your fault, right? Can we clear
Well, I don't want to say too much because
Yeah.
we kind of just as a team agreed to like just not talking about it. But what happened isn't my fault, but I am not fully innocent in it because what I did, the part that is my fault is you have seen Filo play, right? And Filo is a good friend of mine. I've known him for quite a while. And since DACH was already passed, we had 2 out of 2 matches won, 6 points. Too good of a match difference to not get throughout the group stage. So I wanted to play against Filo. And so instead of taking a DQ win, because he was like 20 minutes late, I decided to wait and play, despite my team being 1-0 down and it being the last match. And this just caused a dispute within the team. Let's say that. So that part is my fault.
Fair enough. I mean, I've seen disputes happen in the Strikers community anyway. Nothing was worse than watching the UK team last year. That was embarrassing. So, the less said about that, the better.
You mean the Galaxy World Cup, right?
Yeah, and let's say nothing more on that front. But it's not a surprise that there's no UK team in this Strikers World Cup. But so are you from Germany specifically, or were you?
Yeah, I'm from Berlin. So
Because I know Milazaki is German as well, right? And then I guess
yes,
some of the other members of the team were either Swiss or Austrian.
yeah. Dani is native Colombian, but he's been living in Switzerland for 12 years now. So we decided to hit him up because he's a great player. He definitely has the same level that I do. And Skipper also is a really good player. He's Austrian, so we just got us four together and then just searched for a complementary member. In this case, the best one was Kaiser, who made it into the roster in the end. Also helped in defeating Benelux by tying Wawa. And yeah.
That's cool. And by the way, the people saying in chat that they want a UK team. Hey, I know there's people in chat who are from UK. Just learn to play this game and then you can compete in the next World Cup. They very much are short of people to represent my country.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We would have said yes to literally anyone who knew how to play this game and was British. So if even one person gets into competitive strikers off the back of watching my streams, then that's mission accomplished, really.
There was a UK team, a fusion of firstly only UK, but then like the only really good player we had from the United Kingdom just randomly dipped the scene without giving any signs. So that kind of just screwed the UK team over. So first we tried to fuse them with Ireland, but then more and more players just lost motivation and didn't want to play, and then the UK team just kind of died.
Yeah, well, I've got my excuse at least. I've never played Strikers in my life, and I might as well never play it at this point. I might as well just keep up the vibe of being the Inazuma 11 YouTuber who's never played Strikers despite commentating a Strikers World Cup. Do you know if we're still getting that final match?
Yeah, so from what I saw in the stream room text channel, Selow is still taking a bit because Selow is actually not at home. I don't know how he plays, but I just know he's in a car on the way to Turkey.
Oh.
And he's just playing from the car somehow. I don't know how exactly he manages that, but he needs like 5 to 10 more minutes.
He certainly won't be able to stream very easily from
yeah, so this
from that kind of situation. But could you? I guess if you've got the info to hand anyway, maybe you could give me a bit of a recap on how Maghreb got this far.
So Maghreb also was a Seed 1 team. So we had like 4 pots. Maghreb was the 4th Seed 1 team. They got into a group with Bulgaria, Brazil, and Portugal. And they won all of their matches. In total, 7 of the best of 3 matches were won. 1 tied, 1 lost. With a goal difference of plus 20, so
that's
not
insane.
That bad.
I was stunned to see Brazil didn't get through because the Galaxy World Cup last year, they got 3rd, I think. Or 4th at least, but Brazil drowning in the group was bonkers to me. I would have assumed they were up there with the best.
Honestly, many of us would have assumed that Brazil would pass the group. They definitely have a solid roster. I know most of the Brazil members myself, and I'm pretty good friends with them. I just have a few contacts all over the Strikers scene. But I think the match that made the difference is the match against Bulgaria, who did pass twice. Did pass a second by defeating Portugal and, well, Brazil. So they somehow managed to snatch a 2-0 defeat. I saw the matches, quite a few misplays from the Brazilian team, so definitely could have ended differently. But in the end, they just snatched the win over Brazil and then just played it safe by beating Portugal 3-0, if I'm not wrong.
I'm so intrigued at the fact there's a full team for Bulgaria. Do they genuinely have all 5 slots filled? Or do they just have 3 and they've been coping with it?
I mean, yeah, they do have 5 slots filled, but just having people doesn't necessarily mean that they're really strong. I mean,
not necessarily, but it's like we couldn't even fill a UK team. And yet we can fill a Bulgaria team. That's the bit that's nuts to me. I didn't even know Bulgaria had Inazuma 11 fans, and now they're in the knockouts of the Strikers World Cup. And if I can put it, now that there's not a match on, I can just go full bias and say I would really like Bulgaria to win the whole thing. I think that would be the perfect little underdog story. I haven't gotten to stream any of their matches yet. But...
Well, maybe you can stream the quarterfinal match because it will definitely be an interesting one. Their opponent is Southeast Asia, who are actually a pot 4 team, who ended up topping the Group B, in which my team Dach originally was in 2. We beat Southeast Asia 2-1, but Southeast Asia came back and defeated Italy and Benelux, and actually managed snatching first place, despite being a pot 4 team, so everyone expected them to finish last in their group, but they just came back, they showed who they are, and now they're the opponent of Bulgaria in the quarterfinals, so it's either way definitely an underdog team in the semifinals for sure.
Yeah, that's big. I was talking to one of their players after my first stream, they were just kind of letting me know that they enjoyed it, and yeah, I had no idea that they were going to be a contender, but that's really awesome for them, because it's players from Indonesia, Malaysia, and maybe somewhere else, if I've got that right.
Indonesia and Vietnam, yeah.
There we go, yeah. So, that match against Bulgaria sounds like a banger. I would love to stream that, but I think it's tomorrow when I'm at a robot fighting tournament, so...
A robot fighting tournament?
Yeah, mate, I do Robot Wars. I'm next level in that sense, but it means I can't watch Bulgaria, unfortunately.
That sounds kinda crack, bro. You got me invested now, kinda.
2 weekends in a row of doing live Robot Wars stuff. Just last weekend I did the featherweights, which is like 13 kilograms, and then this weekend I'm doing the heavyweights, which is 100 kilograms. They're massive. But if you can hear any grinding in the background of my audio, that's because one of my team members is working on the robot right now before it fights tomorrow. So, yeah, I won't get to see any Bulgaria unless they make it through to the semis, unfortunately. But that would be sick. I really like the Southeast Asia team as well, though. So knowing they have to come up against each other.
Yeah. Also, I think we might have a little issue. Not really issue, but I think Selow won't be able to play. I believe. At least some of the casters have left the voice chat. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I already sent a message. I don't know if Selow will be able to play the last match because Maghreb does not need it. They still pass either way, even if Selow doesn't play.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. It gets us out of the stream after just 2 hours instead of 2.5. So, not too bad. For the context for the people in the chat, Selow is Tunisian.
No, he's playing off stream. He's playing off stream. Wait, I'll unmute Penguin real quick. He wants to tell us something.
Okay.
Yeah, Pingu?
I'm just asking you to unmute me. Nothing.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, they're playing off stream, so no match here.
Alright, well, in that case, that probably makes a pretty logical end point to the stream. There will be another match happening off stream between Italy and Maghreb, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. Italy could win 9-0 and they'd still be eliminated. So, Maghreb for Tunisia will be moving on to the semi-finals. Do you know their players from Morocco and Algeria at all? I'd be interested to see if they stand a chance of playing in the next match.
Yeah, Pingu here's from Algeria. He's also a player from Maghreb. So Pingu's from Algeria. Else Selow is Turkey and Tunisia, I believe, and the rest is Tunisia, as far as I know.
And Seikyo is Algerian. He's just has the Axel with the Moroccan shirt. No, he's Algerian. He's not Moroccan.
Great. Well, in that case, interview. Who do you think you're going to play in the next match?
That's a good question, but if Selow can't play the next match, maybe me or Seikyo will take his place. So that's it.
That would be great.
It will be the same lineup, but just me or Seikyo.
Cool. So Abdel and Luxie will both be back. And fair, Luxie seems kind of cracked.
Yeah, Luxie's fucking cracked. He didn't play for like 4 months, I feel like, and he hasn't lost a single thing. Luxie's always been one of the top players, honestly.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you, Penguin, on the rest of the Maghreb campaign. I'm not sure if you know do you know who you're going to fight next? Or which two teams it could be?
We will fight either France or China. So we will know tomorrow.
Well,
Tomorrow,
Maghreb
France
versus
China.
France would definitely be a story, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
All right,
That
well,
will be interesting, right? Yeah.
so best of luck to your team, and thanks, Haku, for joining me on the stream to drop in a little bit of Strikers knowledge. Obviously, feel free to do it again if you catch me streaming some other time and want to offer the insights, especially now that you can't play in the tournament anymore, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that is it for today's streams. A deluxe length one now that we're in best of fives. Keep an eye on the Strikers World Cup Twitter to see who won that final match between Maghreb and Italy and with what score. But either way, Maghreb will be moving on to fight either France or China in the semi-finals. Thank you for watching, and hopefully next stream next week I'll have another stream with maybe a semi-final. Toodle pip.